these days? Oh, doing really good. We've been working out again. Oh, I know, it really looks good. Hey, folks, we're at the Movies with Philm, and you know what we're doing? We're celebrating a National Talking on Elevators Day. Yay! I never knew they had a day like that. Yep, they do. And we're going to keep in the spirit of that, right? Yeah, it's very important to explore the holidays. Holidays are part of our our tradition. We got to be, celebrate those things. And while we're doing that, we're going to talk a little bit about a movie called FP1 Doesn't Answer. So, oh, never heard of that. Yep, you haven't heard of that? Well, let's talk about it. Let's go ahead. Let's get this on me. Well, FP1 was a film that was shot in 1932, 1933. And it was made in 3 different versions, okay? Shot simultaneously. They shot a German version, okay, with Peter Lorre. Peter Lorre. Yeah, he's got eyes that sort of look like him, okay? And then it was shot in an English version with Conrad Veidt. Woohoo! We like him. I like him too. And then it also has yeah, 3 different versions. Again, there was a German version and an English version and a French version. Now this film, what's the FP stand for? What is it? What is it? FP? FP. Okay, what does the FP stand for? I'll tell you. Well, does it stand for foolish film? No, not foolish film. No. Does it stand for fun places? No, not fun places, not funny places, none of them. It stands for floating platform. Okay? Because the whole idea of this thing is that, okay, this film was inspired by the Lindbergh transatlantic flight. Oh, yeah, it was great. They had a movie about that. Straight to St. Louis. So, yeah, this film, okay, is based on a novel by Kurt Siodmak. Kurt Siodmak? I know Kurt Siodmak. You're sure you know Kurt Siodmak? He wrote The Wolfman. Okay, so yep, and he wrote this novel, and it's based on this idea that if people are going to be flying back and forth between the United States and France and stuff like that, that we might as well have sort of like we have now, space station, right, in betweener. So this will be like it's like a village. It's a floating platform in the middle of the ocean, and then planes can land on it. Oh, yeah. So this is a FP is a floating platform. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Now, what happens is they build this thing, right? This guy named Drost. He has the idea, Drost. And is that a Drost effect? Sort of like a Drost effect. You know what the Drost effect is, folks? There's a hot chocolate that on the box, okay, there's a picture of somebody who holds a box of hot chocolate, and then on the box is a person who holds a box of chocolate, and it goes on and on and on. In literary terms, we call that a mise en abîme. Yeah, we just call it Drost effect. So it's like a picture of the same thing inside of itself, you know? A shield within a shield within a shield. Anyway, this Drost guy, they don't do that in there. They don't, they should have. Well, they don't, okay? But what he does is he builds this thing, and there is a problem, okay? There's a problem that they got built and then they don't hear from it, right? FP1 does not answer. What's that all about? Well, I'll tell you what it's about. They don't know what it's about, so they have to go find out. And I can't talk too much about that because that'll give it away. Now, I think it's kind of cool. These early sound films of this era, right? I mean, there are many ways to handle how sound could be worked with, right? Subtitles, right? You shoot it in, dub it, right? Or do you shoot in different languages? Well, here, 3 different casts, 3 different times, and they shot simultaneously in German. 32. And then in 1933, they continued on in that, because it must have been shot at the end of the year, so 32, 33, and it was German, then English, and then the French version. And, you know, they did a lot of that, making simultaneously with different casts. Dracula. Dracula is a famous case of that. At daytime, they shot it with Bela, and then at night, they bring the Spanish crew in. Laurel and Hardy, they worked at being able to do multi-language versions of the films themselves. They'd shoot a scene in English, then they'd do it again in Spanish, then they would do it in French. That's very demanding, right? That was Laurel and Hardy doing it by themselves. Right? They go, oh, that's a lot of work. Yeah, it is. Well, it's easier when you have 3 different casts. It was the same director, okay? A guy named Hartwell, okay? He directed the film, and he directed all 3 versions, right? And they kept it kind of consistent. Film really looks kind of nice. It's got some really cool stuff in it. And, you know, oh, John talking on an elevator. Yeah, me too. I'm really talking about it. You know what else today is? Today is Be Gnarly Day. So we've been being gnarly, okay, and they're being gnarly in that film as well, okay. So what are you going to do now? Well, I think we're going to take a ride on an elevator down. See you later, folks. Have fun with FP1 does not answer.